The sun wastes no time in waking up the South Plains. It's quiet, but that doesn't mean there's no one here. A family of raptors have set out looking for their first meal of the day. As they venture towards the watering hole, they pick up on a scent, just a single scent. This unfortunate solo Pachycephalosaurus finds itself as a target for the pack. And it's not long until the pack begin to close in. But how did these raptors get to where they are today? I emerged from my shell to the cold embrace of a storm in the middle of the night. The rain lashed down over my newly developing skin. I could just about make out the ominous raptor faces with their glowing eyes in all directions. This was my family. Now the first thing I did was see which mutations I've inherited from my parents. My god, everyone is so big. Look at the size of the toes. If I end up underneath one of them toes, oh my god. If I end up underneath them toes, I'm dead. So it's really hard. I've come in the middle of the night and I don't really know where I am. I think I recognise it as Highland Sanctuary, which is kind of crazy. This is a really big hotspot. So we must be on like some kind of safe rock, so to speak. Although everywhere around this rock is going to be full of trouble. So far I can see I've got 2 or 3 siblings, and obviously I've got a couple of parents, and it seems like there's some other adult raptors here just to help provide food. Always handy. You can see I'm somewhere in the middle. We've got some more siblings that have nested in. I'm sort of mid-grown. Some are a little bit older than me. Some are a bit younger. Now as the rain stopped, it gave me a chance to really take in the reality of my surroundings. Now you see, the area that I'm nested in is in one of the hottest of hotspots. That's where I am. Everything in red is basically just a big kill fest. And I am in the center of it. So we actually have one of our parents as fatal errored, and all the other chicks need food. There was death everywhere around this rock. Everywhere you looked, there was more bodies. Mum's dead. We've just lost one of our parents. That name disappearing was the parent dying. Now behind the rock was more little dinosaurs. This little galley was hiding in a bush just praying he doesn't get seen. So now we were down one parent, and that one parent had the difficult goal of trying to raise all of these chicks into adult raptors. Now you're probably wondering why we've been nested into such a dangerous area. Well, every dinosaur on the Isle has the potential to reach what is called Prime. This is the very strongest version of any dinosaur, where your speed, your bite force, and your overall weight are increased, meaning you're more formidable against potential prey or predator. However, in order to achieve this prime state, there are certain requirements that need to be met. I won't go too deep into it, but one of them is to be nested in, and another one is to visit a sanctuary. And well, you can see I've been nested into a sanctuary, so it gives me the best possible start when trying to achieve prime. And so now we are actually having to leave the nest and venture out into the rest of the sanctuary, look for food, and try and survive as best we can. I'm going to just keep running. I'm not getting involved with Ceratos, not when I'm this big. I'm tiny, it's not, and that's not a fight for me. But I hope the parents make it. Come on, kids. My little siblings, you can do it. Run, run, run. You gotta leave. Just like in real life, with a whole nest, it's never guaranteed that everyone's gonna make it. Oh, two little tennos have found themselves in the worst possible place. Oh, he's got a fight, you know? He's fighting. I admire that, but I'm also hungry, so... Ouch. Although I don't think that actually hurt. It was time to get my fill. I need as much food as possible. I need to grow, and I need to grow quickly. Now remember, this life isn't about being the best at PvP or fighting the biggest thing we can find. This is just life. It's one of many of my lives on here, and this is just how any typical life may unfold on the Isle. And I'm just sharing the journey with you guys. I will be the first to admit, I'm not a PvP god, I'm not, I'm not amazing at PvP, but that's not what this is about for me. Right, I'm going to hide here just because everyone else seems to sit around the food. Oh, dibble or something. This is what I mean about... There's so many little animals all trying to survive around this sanctuary. The sanctuary is just on the other side of those rocks. So there's so many people trying to survive and hardly any of them make it. It's kind of realistic in that sense. A lot of young won't make it. But this is good because we're taking the organs out now so we can get them diets up and increase our growth rate and also hopefully get a perfect diet, which is another prime requirement. Now this always makes me nervous going back into the sanctuary here. This is where we came out of, this is where the Ceratos were. And I can hear Carlos as well now. This main path is a highway to hell. The stench of death just surrounds the very rock that we were born on. Kind of ironic. It was time to move on from this area. It was just far too dangerous, and we'd already lost some of our pack members to this completely chaotic sanctuary. Okay, so if I remember, this pond is good. It's a nice little bit of water source, but it's dangerous because there's always Herrerasaurus in the trees. There's usually Rexes as well that patrol through the area, so we've just got to be careful and keep our wits about us. Now at this point we decided to run, but the Ceratos had decided to chase. I think there's like 3 of them, so definitely not something that we want to be hanging around for too long. So it was time to catch up with the rest of my pack. However, these very same Ceratos were going to appear multiple times throughout this story. We eventually made our way down to South Plains. So at this point we are starting to gain some weight, and it was time to start learning how to hunt for ourselves. However, survival instincts are telling me to still be very careful. Oh my god, that was close. I don't think we lost anyone. We're okay. Wow, that was close. Oh, like that is exactly why you take a bit of food and you leave, and you don't stand there and eat. So this was our first opportunity to really try and take down some prey. yeah, I went to pounce just as he turned into me, and obviously you can't pounce that. My god, and then that time it just didn't even let me pounce. It's so buggy. I pressed pounce and it just didn't even jump or anything. However, despite being out of the fight, my family had this in good hands. They took down the aloe, and it was a job well done. So those Ceratos that we saw earlier, they were back, and this time they were bullying us off our food. And in the chaos, I didn't want to risk getting hit, so I stayed where I was. However, now I was behind enemy lines. Whilst everybody else ran off to safety, me and Mats could only sit here and wait. They are literally walking all around my tree. The thing is as well, I'm bleeding, so it's a little bit of a giveaway. If they pick up on the fact there's blood here, I could be in trouble. There's genuinely so many as well. There's a good 3 of them, at least 3. I think there might even be 4. I'm not sure, but 3 of them is still too many for my liking. And he's making a run for it. So Mats has gone. I'm probably going to have to go soon as well. I think I'm faster than them, so if I just run, I should be okay. And that's what I did. I just got up and I just ran. Anywhere but there. Anywhere away from the Ceratos. Oh my god, that's a Carno. Why do I keep running into trouble? He can outrun me. I need to run because he is faster than I am. Eventually though, I realised the Carno wasn't following me and I caught back up to my pack just in time to take out my anger on these small Ceratos. Yeah, not so big and strong now. Oh, it's so unfair though, isn't it? Jay, just like if we had fought them Ceratos, we would have lost. It's just the way it goes. Eventually, everything just calmed down for a little bit. It gave us a chance to rest, recuperate, get rid of our sickness, and just take in a little moment of peace. Alright, sickness is gone, so I can finally eat again. Yeah, so that was an example of where just a pack of Omnis is just really overwhelming for a lot of dinosaurs, especially at that sort of mid-size. Time for a group drink. Hopefully there's no crocodile in here. We haven't really checked, so he can take his pick. So at this point we decided we were big enough and feeling confident enough that we were going to stay around the South Plains area. I have a feeling this was our kill from earlier, so I don't think it's far off of being rotten. So it's just something you really want to keep an eye out when you're eating, because things can just go rotten like very quickly. I love this. Look at us all. I mean, I just love it when there's a pack this big. If you can get everyone fully grown as well, there's just nothing more dangerous. However, our coordination as a pack was yet to be tested. Now we found ourselves against the same Ceratos again, only this time we decided we were gonna have a go. However, in hindsight, probably not the smartest move, especially when they also had the water with their backs. I don't really know what their stamina's like either. Now, a lot of the time with the Raptor, you don't need to go in for the pounce. If you look like you're going to, it's enough to deter them. That's why quite a lot of the time you'll see when one of my teammates is getting attacked, I'll run up to them, but I won't fully commit because I know I don't need to. However, it wasn't long before our inexperience was showing. We just weren't cut out for this fight, and it was time to back off. However, our only remaining parent felt like they had a point to prove and just refused to end the fight. And honestly, that is why it's not a fight to take, because so quickly anything can go wrong. That was 2 or 3 bites in the space of about 2 or 3 seconds, and it was game over. That was our pack leader. We are now leaderless. Wymerk had guided us from our eggs to adulthood. After the fight, we were all left to recover and try to work out what to do next. What was interesting was the dynamic of having a natural pack leader to follow. For some reason, every pack of Omnis just needs to follow someone. So I kind of put myself in that role. So I think we might have spotted an aloe. We're not too sure, but we're gonna go and have a look. Sure enough, we had spotted the aloe, but he had also spotted us. So very quickly after spotting a raptor, he made a dart for the bushes. But we knew exactly where he went. So one by one, we called in the reinforcements and surrounded his hiding place. Yeah, I think that he thinks we don't know where he is, and we're going to keep it that way until we've all got him surrounded. Okay, he's feeling flushed out. He has to retaliate. I mean, he's not fully grown. He's not even near fully grown, but we should be able to do this. He still needs to take it seriously, though. Like, even an aloe that size is still dangerous and will pin one of us. Now, bit by bit, we chipped away until eventually we decided to just commit to the pin. Now today just wasn't the aloe's day. This was a case of finding yourself in the wrong place at the wrong time. And that's why finding yourself on your own on the Isle can be a scary prospect, especially when there's a pack of Omniraptors around. However, as good as life felt, life on these prehistoric plains was never straightforward. We could sense danger was on its way. One once again, the Ceratos had followed us to our next kill and stole that meal from us too. I mean, thankfully, I think we all got a good amount of food from that, so it's not like we're going hungry. It's just a little bit annoying. But they keep stealing everything from us. But we pressed on. We spread out across the South Plains, a group of terror for any dinosaur that wanders too far on their own. Now a watering hole lay far into the South Plains, the only water source for a considerable distance, and with water nearby, there was a good chance that prey wouldn't be too far away. And it wasn't very far at all. Now if this Pachycephalosaurus was anywhere in the open, his time would be very short. However, with him living life on the edge, we couldn't afford to put 1 foot wrong. If we timed just 1 pounce wrong, we could fall, break our legs, or even worse. So it seems like he can kind of clip through that. Yeah, he can clip through the ledge. That's really annoying. So that's now 2 more of us that have a body fracture. And for those that aren't aware, if you get a body fracture on here, your stamina drains much faster. This was now a game of cat and mouse. The thing is, we'd need to keep him there and try to drain his hunger and his water. At some point, that herbivore is going to need to come out. He's going to need to eat and drink. I think one thing that a lot of Omni players struggle with is patience. I notice it a lot. It's like, you've got to get in there, it's PvP, jump on him now, go, go, go. But honestly, you can play a really patient game with Omni and it's really effective. Like, this is exactly what we shouldn't be doing. Going down there into his little territory where he has the advantage. And before we knew it, we had lost another 2 raptors. The size of this pack was dwindling, and we would need all the numbers we can get if we were going to win this fight. Despite having a body fracture, I was gonna have to stay involved. I just need to manage my stamina the best I can. I noticed other raptors had broken ribs too. You can tell we've all got broken ribs at this point. Everyone's running around hunched over. I think the hunch is a key sign of broken ribs. The thing is, he was clearly getting restless, and he most likely did need to either eat or drink. He kept retreating to his ledge, but he was getting more aggressive. Okay, that was some good damage. Like, we definitely made him bleed a lot more there. So another thing he had to worry about was bleeding. When he's bleeding, he needs to rest in order to stop it. And in order to stop him resting, I decided to take a sneaky route around, wait for him to sit down, and then lunge. Okay, he got up a lot quicker than I thought he would. That's not going to be as easy as I thought it might. The other thing as well is we can cover for each other, so if someone does need to heal, the rest of the team can cover for them. Whereas for the Patchy, it's just relentless. He can't afford to rest. See, I didn't need to even charge him that time, but just the fact that I got him up and running is already a small win. He has a lot of scars at this point. He's definitely hurt. He's really hurt. So at this point I had a weird bug where I couldn't sprint again, so I needed to log out and log back in. When I got back in, I came back into a message saying run. What's going on? Why are we running? We gotta leave. Okay, why? What's happened in there? I was only relogging. Oh, there's a Maya too. So in the time I was gone, reinforcement has arrived. It's so annoying because we've done so much damage to him, and he's going to get away with it just because a Maya's shown up. Unfortunately, that's just the way it goes sometimes. We were honestly doing so well. I feel like it was a learning curve for all of us. None of us are super experienced, so I felt like we had a good fight. However, that wasn't actually the end. You see, I was about to log out for the night, when all of a sudden, I heard something else going on. Wait, that's him, that's the Patchy! No way! So apparently he heard one of us in the bushes and he tried to actually start a fight, not realizing that we were all still here. So overall, I call that a victory. That was one hell of a fight and I really enjoyed it. Like I said, it's not about fighting the biggest, baddest things. Sometimes it's those little fights that just are so rewarding. And as for you, Mr. Maya, you are too late. It was time to say goodbye to one of my only remaining Nest family members, Sweetlander. We had been through this together. The next day I logged on and I found two of the raptors that were also hanging around in the South Plains. Once we'd established that I was actually fake, we set out on our adventure. Now this adventure saw us quite a few raptors short of where we were at before, but that doesn't stop us performing hunts. It's just the hunts we are going to do are going to have to be a bit smaller. I mean, this was a good start. I haven't been on very long, and you know, we've caught some food, so we're doing okay. We're doing okay. You see, at this point, I was past my prime. I was already starting to lose a bit of my shape on my bones, my speed, and of course, my bite force. But that's not going to stop me from trying to help these guys get the best start in their lives. Can you imagine a croc just sat in the middle of this? Don't mind me. Now this may be salt water, but it doesn't make it any safer. We would need to keep an eye on the ocean if we're going to continue along the beach. There's a little Carno. And he's realised his only option is the ocean. I wouldn't want to be in that water right now. But as is always the way, when you don't want there to be a croc, there's a croc. And when you want there to be one, they're nowhere to be found. So I've just been informed, oh yeah, there's 2 Rexes on their way up. Again, it's one of those where if we can see them, that's a good thing. It's when you can't see them, it gets a little bit scary. They are definitely on their way to check out the pond, I think. But little did I know, they were actually just going to sleep, logging out for the day, making the world just that little bit safer. Oh, this little heron's a long way from home. He reverted to hiding in the corpse. He's so small. There we go. Ah, these are fresh spawn. So this was honestly what my life was coming to now, scavenging. I wasn't the hunter I used to be, and I was taking free meals wherever I could find them. So I think there's another Serato. We can give it a go, but I don't think we're cut out for this fight. Oh, he may be old, but he's got his agility. We are the old wise sensei raptor now. Oh my god, this pouncing. Oh god. So Yip was about to find out that not every fight in life is worth taking. Sometimes you've got to know when to just call it a day. I mean, it was hard enough with 1, but now there's 2. So eventually we lost Yip. I actually still don't know where he went to this day, but maybe he just logged out. Either way, I went up to the pond to get some water. Ah, well hello there. What is that pounce? Why did I just stop in midair? I won't lie, the Raptor would be like so much more enjoyable if the pounce worked. Okay, and that time I just didn't expect him to be able to stop drinking so fast. I thought I could get a little slap on his face and then get away. But no, he was quick. It's time for evasive maneuvers. Somehow. Eventually, I decided that being an Omni wasn't for me. I wanted to be an oversized Herrerasaurus. I mean, this life could be for me, you know. I like this. We're right next to the pond. We can see some traffic coming and going. I can hear some Ceratos. Yeah, we're living the retirement life right now. We are that old person sat on the balcony, just people watching. And it wasn't long before a couple of sneaky Rexes tried to pass through. I can only imagine their confusion at the moment. Life now was really on the wind down. My best years were behind me, my bones ached and my wounds had taken their toll. My overall speed was beginning to decrease and life was moving from the fast lane to the slow lane. Oh my god. Oh god. Oh no, not like this. That is some crazy camouflage. Even in my old age, I'm still faster than that Cerato, so it's not too bad. That was very close. I need to stop sooner or later, because I am bleeding. That camouflage had worked wonders for the Cerato, and the ambush was so nearly successful. I was left bleeding and fleeing, clinging to life. So the blood's getting a little bit low, but I should be okay. I'm hoping it will stop soon. So it was official. My life would never be the same, and I'd almost completed the full circle of life. It doesn't matter how much of a top predator you become, you will always end up where you came from. However, the one thing we can take with us is our experiences and our memories from a life well lived. So I was on one last hunt, but it wasn't the hunt you'd think. It was a hunt for my final resting place. My body now was becoming pronounced as my skin wrapped around my aging bones. Where muscle used to conquer was now void of any power and athleticism. I used whatever energy I had left to climb these rocks to my final resting place. We had lived a magnificent life. We had gone from our nest to a top predator.